and welcome to another video. I am Simply G, and today I'm going to be showing off all of the anime that I got for this month of September. And there's quite a bit, actually. Too much. But that's because of sales. Well, I mean, that's always my excuse. Honestly, there's some things that I bought because I was needing them. I was wanting to get them, and I kind of fell behind on buying them, and so I just jumped the gun and finally, put the money towards them. And then other things that were actually sale items that I was like, well, I was wanting this, so I might as well get it whilst it is cheap. So without further ado, I will just get straight into it, and I hope you guys enjoy. First up, we have my Japanese imports. These are things that I bought. I got both of them from Mandarake. Maybe not. I don't really remember. It was 400 years ago. But first off is my copy, my Blu-ray copy of Yuri on Concert, which is obviously the filmed concert of, musicians playing Yuri on Ice music. I erroneously said last month that I had gotten this. No, I got the Yuri on Stage DVD or Blu-ray. And I knew that, but when I was filming, my brain did a thing, and so I said that I had Yuri on Concert. Yuri on Stage is the, stage drama, celebratory stage show that they had. Different to what this is. But now, with this, I am caught up, or completely done with the Japanese Yuri on Ice releases, which, yay for me. It's for no other reason than I want them. Obviously, I am not, or maybe not obviously, but I am not fluent in Japanese. I'm not even close to having any sort of linguistic knowledge of Japanese, but I am a big Yuri on Ice fan, and I will spend money on the things that I enjoy. And this was, stupid cheap on Mandarake. I had an order with a couple other things in it, and so I just threw it in there to round up shipping, pretty much. A Japanese import that I got, again, I don't need this. I will not never say never, but I can't watch this and understand anything that's going on, because again, I do not speak Japanese. This is another, stage event, drama event, seiyuu event, what have you. Similar to Yuri on Stage, this is the Yotobi and Samazuka Fest event for the second season of Free Eternal Summer. It's basically just all of the seiyuu, the voice actors, doing various, little audio drama bits and answering questions and goofing around. And hey, 2015. Again, why did I buy this? Because I'm a disgustingly avid Free fan. Did I need it? No. Did I want it? Yes. And I'm an adult. I'm allowed to make my own decisions, and thus, again, it was stupid cheap. These sorts of things do really, drop a huge amount in value in the secondhand market. So, again, it was alongside with my Yuri on Concert Blu-ray. I chucked it on the pile and pressed order, and did not regret a single second of that. Yeah. I haven't watched it. Who knows if I will? Who knows when I will? But hey, it's something to have. What a bad excuse. Honestly, I'm not making excuses. This is something I wanted, and I don't care who knows that. So we have some UK limited edition sets. Quite a few, actually. The first two is a complete series that I was meaning to get for a while. Haven't opened it yet. Still haven't watched it. I was just kind of waiting for it to go on sale for a bit, and it did. The price fell, so I picked it up. Probably more expensive than I would have liked, but I do really enjoy this manga. I've heard kind of mixed things about the anime, but I will just have to see for myself. This is one of those series that has, I don't think it ever got a release in the US, so it is kind of a UK exclusive, and that is Welcome to the Ballroom, the adaptation of the manga of the same name, about a teenage boy who discovers his interest in ballroom dancing, a manga that I love and adore, but was on hiatus for a while. I think it's off hiatus. New volume is out. I don't really remember. It's been a long time since I've read it. Yeah, I can't really speak to the quality of this anime. Again, I haven't seen it. I know there was kind of controversy with the director who's like, this is so much better than Yuri on Ice, because he was super salty that Yuri on Ice was just breaking all the records. And then I think people spite hated it for that, and I'm like, he didn't, just, I don't know, judge things on their own merits. Again, I haven't seen it, so I know that there are some like production issues later on. It's not necessarily the most dynamic series. For a show about dance, there's a lot of still shots, but hey, I feel like that's just kind of a standard in a lot of stuff, so I'm not going to say it's a unique issue to this series. And if it's really that bad, then, you know, no real loss. I can always sell it on, and I still have the manga, which I love dearly. But yeah, I thought it was high time for me to actually pick this series up and watch it, because, you know, for as long as it's been around, I just hadn't gotten around to it. Maybe this might actually encourage me to watch the things that I am wanting to watch, but who knows? Maybe not. We have the UK limited edition release of a series that, like, I actually surprisingly really enjoyed. It's one that I think maybe, because it's a light novel adaptation, people didn't have very high hopes for it. It's sort of Haruhi-esque, but I will say that I do enjoy it more than Haruhi. I mean, Haruhi hasn't aged well, let's be real. But I went into this with, like, no real expectations. I'd seen people, like, talk pretty positively about it on Twitter and stuff, so I was like, alright, I'll try that. And I actually enjoyed it way more than I thought I would. But that is Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai. And with a title like that, it sure is a light novel. Yeah, this is a series about a high school guy who one day he's at the library, local public library, and he sees this girl in like a super sexy bunny girl outfit just hanging around, trying to, I don't know, get people's attention, and no one around her, aside from him, notices her at all. And he's like, am I going crazy? Am I hallucinating in the library right now? But he soon discovers that this girl is not only a student at the school that he goes to, but she's actually a very famous child actress who has been on hiatus for a little while, and who's in a Monogatari-esque way is having an issue where the people around her do not seem to notice her if they're not expecting her to be there. So yeah, I guess like a mix of Haruhi and Bakemonogatari is the best way to describe this series. So yeah, this series kind of in a light novel way, it presents normally a young teen girl or a teenage girl, not necessarily a young woman, a teenage girl who's having some sort of personal issue and is suffering from what is quote unquote puberty syndrome, That's what the characters call it. And our main character, the hero of the piece, the protagonist, has to help each of these girls with their personal issues. And it's typically the physical manifestation of their worries, their anxieties, their insecurities. In the same way that, like, a lot of the Monogatari stuff is just a physical embodiment of the character's worries, with a little bit more of a supernatural twist. I really liked this. I really, really liked this. I really enjoyed the series. I saw the film as well. The film was fine. I really like the protagonists. I like all of the characters, all of the various girls, which is kind of an oddity because I'm normally quite cynical towards series of this type. I say as, like, being a fan of Monogatari. But the limited edition... Oh my god, I'm just throwing stuff around. It has a chipboard box, only one side, the other one with this blurb, which is pretty typical for MVM releases. On the disc itself, or covers, we have other characters and discs, more characters, and then there is a booklet, character introductions and such, and a whole bunch of postcards for, I don't know, they're kind of like a weird postcard shape. They have all of the different girls that are having issues. Underclassmen, friends, classmates, his younger sister. All very typical light novel setup. But yeah, again, I went in with kind of like middling expectations. I had heard good things, but again, I'm quite wary sometimes when it comes to this sort of light novel. But yeah, I liked it a lot, and I think it's quite well self-contained in this single season as well. The film is a good follow-up. I wasn't in love with it. Some people might adore it. I don't know. I don't know how long the light novels are. I don't know if it's still ongoing. I have the first one. But yeah, you know. This was one that I had a standard edition for. This limited edition was like on super discount, so I picked it up. I've already found a new home for the original. So yeah, you know, just another. It's a series I like, and I'm happy that I was able to get it for a little bit of a discount. An actual like new UK limited edition release. I got the anime limited release of Violet Evergarden, Eternity and the Auto Memory Doll, which is one of the films. Comes with the disc, a booklet, another booklet. I don't know what the heck is even in here. Chipboard box, which is pretty standard. That looks like a postcard of some sort. Nope. Crunchyroll Premium. That's going in the bin. Specs. So 80-page booklet, 28-page booklet, short story, art cards, and some disc extras. I really like this movie. I saw it in cinemas. I've seen both Violet Evergarden movies in cinemas. I really like Violet Evergarden. I think it's one of KyoAni's stronger works. I know I'm very cynical sometimes about the melodramatic, sad stuff when it comes to KyoAni works and like their key adaptations and such. But I don't know. Sometimes I do want my heart broken, and I like Violet. I like the story. Yeah, here's short story. It's pretty cool to have this available in English. So yeah, this is the UK release, for those who don't know. I think Funimation just gave this like a standard slipcover release, which is kind of in line with what they normally do. Some sort of poster of the key art. Oh my gosh, oh, I do feel like this particular film like baited me, because man oh man, there was some heavy lesbian vibes here. And I knew that wasn't going to be the case. Like, it just wasn't going to be Endgame, because I know how this shit goes for Kyoani, but also two, I know, like, that's sort of the whole point of Violet's character arc, is finding the man that she loves and respects. But Violet in a suit? Damn. Yeah, it's good. I enjoyed it. It's a lovely release for a lovely film from a lovely franchise, and I look forward to the last release that Anime Limited will be putting out for this series, because they have said that they have similar plans for the final film, which again, as I said, is available in... Actually, let me check. Yeah, okay, so this has English, and I presume the final film has English? I don't know, I watched the films in Japanese, because that's what was airing in cinemas at the time, but I think I watched the show dubbed. I don't know. I don't remember. But yeah, Violet Evergarden, a series that a lot of people love. Doesn't really need me to say, like, go watch it, because almost everyone has. But if you haven't, the show itself and many of the films, I don't know if the whole franchise is on there. A lot of it's on Netflix. And if it's not on Netflix, then it's on Funimation. So check it out if you haven't. So we have some standard UK releases, things that, again, were on sale. So I bought them, I think it was like 3 for 2 or I don't even remember. But I was meaning to get them for a while. Picked them up whilst they were on sale. First is, of course, the sci-fi dystopic psychological thriller Serial Experiments Lane, a show that continues to get more relevant with each passing day. It's about a girl who is kind of being sucked into the digital world, in a time when computers and the digital space and identity was still very new and exotic and unusual. Yeah, I mean, it's fantastic, it's creepy, it's atmospheric and thrilling. I highly recommend it, and as I said, it's one of those series that's, like, still, it's more relevant now than it was when it was released, and, yeah, I think it still holds up really, really strongly. For anyone who hasn't yet seen it, you should give it a try. We have the anime adaptation of a manga that I really enjoy, really love, and that is Maidens in Your Savage Season. This is a series about a high school literature club who are in the midst of puberty and have sex on the brain, but don't really know how to handle that. They're all kind of in different points of development. They're wanting different things, figuring themselves out, emotionally and sexually and all these sorts of things, and it's super good. The manga is written by Mari Okada, who you may know from a million different things, but notably Anohana, Makuya, that film. I don't know if she's directed this show. I mean, she might have. Nope. But the manga is written by her. I haven't watched this show. I haven't watched the show. I mean, hasn't that just been the theme normally. I was wanting to, it's probably not a full adaptation of the manga. The manga's not super duper long, but I think this is only a 12 episode series, and the series itself is 8 volumes. I don't know how much they would have been able to fit into the series, but it's good. It's good. I look forward to watching this because these girls, man, I may feel extreme pain from being able to relate far too hard because I was also once a teenage girl. May shock you. I'm sorry for you to have to learn like this. But so many relatable things. And I said in regards to the manga, but it's very relatable to, I think, to anyone who was a teenage girl or was, femme presenting during puberty. You can recognize yourself and your friends, like a lot of your friends or like sisters, family members in this series, because it hits you where it hurts. I loved the series. I can be a little bit iffy on Okada's stuff just typically. I think a lot of her series kind of teeter a little too far into melodrama. I have great respect for her, but I don't always adore her works. The manga at least was one that I adored from start to finish, and I hope that I enjoy the anime as well. Last standard UK title that I got, actually another Mari Okada series. She wrote this one. And this is Hanasaku Oroha. This is the complete TV series. I don't think the film has been released in the UK, namely because I don't know how well this one sold for them. But this is a story about a teenage girl who is sent from the big city to go live with her grandmother to help run the inn that her grandmother runs, and her kind of finding herself, her relationships with the other people at the inn, the relationships with the people that she left behind in the city, her mother and her grandmother. There's a lot of parallels between the bad relationship she has with her mother and then the bad relationship her mother has with her grandmother. There's a lot of that's something that you see a lot of in Okada's stuff, is a very female-focused narrative. This is no different. I watched this way back in the day when it was first being released, and I enjoyed it very much then. It was released by NIS America in the US, just never got around to picking it up, pretty much. I will probably get the US release of the film just to complete the entire series. But yeah, it's good. It's definitely one to check out. I think it's still streaming on Crunchyroll and stuff. I don't really remember. But if you haven't given it a shot, it's a PA Works title, so beautiful animation, really atmospheric, and pretty likable characters that have time to grow and come into themselves. I'm not going to say it's my favorite show ever. Nothing that I've talked about today has been my favorite show ever. Except for all my Japanese stuff. But it is still really good, definitely worth a watch, and it's one of Okada's stronger titles, again, in my opinion. Okay, we're going to get into some US standard Blu-rays. These are all Sentai releases. And I was kind of waiting for sales on all of them, but then I was like, you know what? No, I'm just going to buy them now. Because I've been waiting so long for one thing in particular to go on sale, which is this first thing that I'm going to show off, and I'm just impatient, damn it. And that is Haikyuu Season 3, 10 episodes. It's the third season. It's only 10 episodes because it It covers just one singular game, and I know people may have complained about that, but I don't care because it gives the game the real levity that it deserves. I love Haikyuu. If you watch my manga video for this month, you will hear me wax poetic about it, but I really do adore this franchise a whole bunch. It's one of my favorite sports series. It's one of my favorite Shonen Jump series. It's one of my favorite sports anime. I say, as like I already talked about how much I love Free and Yuri on Ice, I just like sports anime. But I'm that doesn't mean I'm not picky. It just so happens that Haikyuu is super duper good. Free is also super duper good, and Yuri on Ice is also super duper good. And not in the super duper like entertaining way that other stuff is. I mean, it's still entertaining, but it's not dumb entertaining. It's just actually super great. Yeah. I mean, again, I don't think Haikyuu needs any real, introduction. I think most people know what it is, what it's about. If you don't, it's about volleyball players, high school volleyball players, and Hinata, who is incredibly short, wanting to be the new generation, the little giant. Although he's short, he's got big jumps and a lot of heart, and he will play the best gosh dang volleyball he can. Even when everyone is bigger and stronger and more intimidating. I love it so much. Yeah, I've been waiting for this one to go on sale for ages. Maybe not, it hasn't been that long, it just feels so long. Because Sentai stuff normally does, hit sales on a fairly regular basis. But Haikyuu never, so far, hasn't seemed to drop that far, so I was just like, you know what, I'll just pay the price that I need to pay, get a copy now, then I'm not having to wait for another 2 years before I get a copy that saves me however much money, and then I still have to import it from the US. That's all just a whole hassle. I'll just buy it from eBay, and yeah, it's at almost retail price or at retail price, but it basically all comes out the same anyway. Who cares? But yeah, definitely recommend Haikyuu. If you haven't watched it yet, then you should try it at least. It's very good. Very, 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 very good. So we have something that I don't know how popular this series is. Probably not that popular. This is actually the film, OVA and film, of this franchise, which was licensed way after the show. I really like the show. My sister and I watched it together. We're both quite big fans. And not because it's again, brilliant or amazing or redefining the genre. In fact, I would say that it probably is quintessentially exactly what this genre is. But this is Majestic Prince, Genetic Awakening, episode 25 and the film. Haven't seen either of them. I own the Australian edition of the show. I really like this series. It's a mecha, obviously, set in space in the near but far future, about a group of I don't remember what they're called. A group of teens who are all piloting various mecha, and what are they called? The rabbits? Something. They're called Team Rabbits. Oh my gosh, my memory's so good. Okay, I will read the back because I don't know what this film is about. I haven't watched it yet. And I also am a little bit hazy on the actual series. I know there's aliens and they're fighting them. It's pretty typical space mecha setup. If you've seen one, you've seen them all, but it does it just really good. It's got a lot of heart. It's very earnest is probably the word I would go with. So, the blurb says, they weren't even expected to survive. Now they have to save mankind again. The alien Wulgaru's last assault against humanity was foiled by the heroic actions of the genetically enhanced humans known as the Evolved Children in their advanced AHSMB battle armor. But now a new attack has been launched against Earth under an even deadlier champion, Diorna, created from the fusion of DNA from two Wulgaru royals. Oh my god. Guys, oh my god. Unfortunately, Izuru Hitachi, the leader of Teen Rabbits, who defeated the Wulgaru Royal Giart, is still out of action and recovering, so the task of marshalling the Majestic Princes and stopping Diorna falls upon the unready shoulders of Toshikazu Asagi. Together with the remaining members of Team Rabbits and the recently created Team Fawn, it's up to Asagi to hold the line against the most ruthless adversary yet, in Majestic Prince Genetic Awakening. Oh my god, sorry. That's amazing. Brilliant. Fantastic. I didn't even know that, like, the main guy wasn't even in this one very much. All I remember, really, there's, like, the cool girl and the leader and this guy who's, like, the second hand, like, the right-hand man. He's also the one, he's, like, always eating antacids because he just gets stomach aches, has ulcers. And there's, like, the cutesy girl. And is there another one? Is there 4 or 5 of them? I don't remember. And there was a 6th one who's, like, the androgynous mystery. It's been a long time since I watched the show, as you can tell. But I liked it, and I'm looking forward to this movie. It sounds dumb as hell, and I'm here for it. I'm just super keen to see some fun robot fights, and everyone taking all this stuff way super seriously. And, you know, just some quintessential classic mecha action. Finally, for the anime, and finally for the Sentai stuff, I also got the first Twittering Birds Never Fly film, The Clouds Gather, which is an 85-minute movie, I think, adapting the manga of the same name, Twittering Birds Never Fly, which is a manga that I love. I've loved it for many, many years. When I heard that this was getting, like, an anime adaptation, I was like, how? What? And then I was also like, hell yeah. So if you're not familiar, this is about a member of the Yakuza, who is kind of notorious within his group for being extremely promiscuous, sleeps around with almost anyone and everyone, but is incredibly diligent at his job. He takes on a new member / personal bodyguard who's recently been released from prison, called Domiki, who, yeah, he brings on kind of as a personal guard, but namely because what happened to Domiki is, because of some personal issues that happened, one of the reasons he was in prison, because of past trauma, he cannot get an erection, and so because of that, it kind of leads to the assumption that because he can't get it up, he can't have sex with this guy in the group, so, our main character can't woo him necessarily, or sleep with him and discard him in the same way that he does with all the other people that he kind of interacts with on a general basis. So it makes him that much more trustworthy and valued. It's a messy relationship, and we know as the viewers that Domiki, although he might not be able to, like, sexually respond to the main character. He's still very much interested in him and wants to be. Oh, and let me tell you, just because one of our main characters cannot get an erection does not mean that there isn't so much sex. If you ever wondered how much, like, sex you can fit into 80 minutes, this film can probably tell you. Because, so, like, as I said, I'm a fan of the manga. I know that it's very explicit. I'm a fan of the series in general. I knew what to expect when I was going in. Because I watched this beforehand. This was one of those, like, on-demand streaming titles that Sentai did last year, thanks to the pandemic. And I was like, hey, sister of mine, do you want to watch this with me? And she's like, okay. I'm like, I was like, okay, fair warning, it's a BL, and it's very explicit. Or, well, the manga's very explicit. I don't know what the anime is going to be like, because I just assumed that it wouldn't be that explicit. Because typically anime isn't, unless it's just, like, straight up hentai, it's not usually that man, oh man. They really push the envelope, and my sister the whole time was like, why did you make me watch this? I'm like, I didn't make you do anything. I asked if you wanted to. She's like, I didn't realize there'd be so much sex. I'm like, I kind of forgot there was so many blowjobs, but also, I didn't tie you to this sofa. You can leave at any time. She's like, no, but I'm, like, actually interested. And I'm like, see? You can't blame me for this. I made the offer, and then at the end, so there's kind of a cliffhanger ending, and she's like, God damn, now I have to watch the next one. And I'm like, well, you know, embrace it. Now you know what to expect. And, yeah, so, anyway, it was good. It was a very close adaptation. It ended sort of in the perfect place that it needed to. I think this is going to be a trilogy, as well as have an OVA for, like, the side couple, which has already been released, not in the US, but in Japan, I believe. Yeah, I already summarized it. This is very racy, and it's by far the most explicit of the BL films that we've gotten recently. This is, like, one extreme. And then something like Dokusei would be the other. I mean, Dokusei it's not explicit. It has some sensuality to it, though. But that's, like, way tamer. I'd say, like, Dokusei is the, like, super easy to recommend. There's kissing, but there's nothing, like, overtly sexual necessarily. And then there's kind of stuff like Seaside Stranger or Stranger by the Shore, whatever the anime calls it, which recently was released. That does have some, like, not super explicit sex in it. And then, what's the other one that I'm trying to think of that I've seen as well? Oh my goodness. The Given film, which is, like, another, like, 2 or 3 steps past that, which is, like, doesn't have anything super explicit, but it's a little bit more sexual. I don't know, they're kind of the same, not really. They're two completely different situations and two completely different relationships, so it's hard to compare, but I'd say Given's, like, a touch more, yeah, explicitly sexual, although we do have, like, actual on-screen sex with Stranger by the Sea, or Shoreside Stranger, whatever it is. And then, like, on the other end, just the complete farthest other end, is Twittering Birds Never Fly. It's just extremely full of explicit scenes, which is a faithful adaptation of the manga, don't get me wrong. But, like, maybe, yeah, go in prepared. Although I did warn my sister, I don't think she was quite prepared. So, like, if you're not expecting it, prepare yourself. This is everything that I got anime-wise for this month. There's quite a bit, and quite a few series that are old favorites. Nothing, well, one or two that's completely new and I'm excited to get to. And of course, some just self-indulgent Japanese imports. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, feelings, opinions on anything that I talked about today. In other news, the new manga podcast that I co-host with my friend Ray has gone up, so that should be on the channel now, as well as across podcasting platforms. My manga video, haul video, should also be up today sometime. Yeah, otherwise you can find me on social media. I'm just hanging out on Twitter. Haven't done much recently, but just getting through reading and all that normal stuff. Same old. But yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the month, a wonderful rest of your week. Look after yourselves, be kind to each other, stay safe, stay healthy, get yourself vaccinated if you are eligible, in order to look after yourselves and everyone else around you. And I will catch you in the next video. Bye till then.